happy you could make it to our book club. So find your spot and let's chat about books while we do our little crafts. So as usual, we are gonna do book recommendations with a quilt square. I've said this before in my previous recommendation videos, but my husband's Aunt Charlotte gave me this absolutely delightful quilting book from the 90s. And I feel obligated to make a quilt now until we go back to Canada, but so far quilts have mostly made me cry, and so that I don't get overwhelmed, we are doing one quilt square per recommendation video. And I'm gonna do a little embroidery on the quilt square that matches the books of the recommendation video. So this week's theme is books with great men. Historical romances with just great men. I have been so disappointed with some of the men I've been reading about recently. I am not a dark romance girl. I don't like a morally grey man. I like a man with morals. I like a gentleman. I like a guy that will say that he likes you. And I feel like historicals are usually a good place for that. And so I'm going to tell you about 3 that I think have really great men. Alright, book number 1 is Lady Anna's Favour. This is such a cute book. So this is set in Regency times. At the very beginning of the book, Anna is kind of going through a lot, even though I find this to be quite a comfort read. Girl is going through stuff. Her family gets a letter from France saying that her brother is wounded and missing in France. He's fighting Napoleon, I believe. And her father dies pretty soon after, essentially of, a broken heart, because they assume the brother is dead. And because they assume the brother is dead, and now her father has died, Anna is essentially homeless now because her, evil cousin that wants her to marry him is essentially, move-in ready. Because he's gonna inherit, because obviously Anna can, because she's a woman, and you know. So Anna decides that she is gonna be the one that finds her brother. She's not gonna give up on him. She's gonna find him. Partly to find her brother, partly to make sure that she is not homeless, and doesn't have to marry this man. So she is off to France, and on the way to France, she meets our man, James Jennings, which I don't really like his name, but that's beside the point. We are going to forgive him for that, because James is a catch. To quote Dirty Dancing, I had my yearly rewatch this week, and I still love that movie. He is the catch of the county.
I'm known as the catch of the county.
I love this man. He encounters Anna, and she is, in over her head, but she's trying her best, and she's quite competent. She's just, not very used to travel. And also just not very used to travel in a country that was very recently at war, and, that is not very safe for a woman. She's traveling with 2 people that worked at her, family home, but still, she's, she's sort of in a vulnerable spot, and James decides that that will not do, and that he is gonna just come with her. And I love this man. He is so just competent. He's just all right, I'm in, and he's just in. He is so helpful. He is absolutely lovely. He puts any feelings he has for her sort of to the side, because he's all right, finding your brother is the priority here. We will find your brother, and I will not take advantage of you. And he's just great. He's amazing. I love this man. Read this book. He's really, really great, and he's really protective, and he's really cute. And he's just really, he's a stand-up guy, and I love him. All right. I don't know why I got so intense there. Anyways, now, this is A Worthy Rebel by Jodi Headland, who, now every once in a while I check in on her publishing, and this woman publishes books at a speed that is incredible to me. I also looked up her website once, and she's a homeschooling mom of 5 or something, the most productive woman you will ever, I don't know. She's so productive. Anyways, now this is set in the medieval times, and this is about Isabel, who is fleeing this marriage to this incredibly cruel but noble man. Not actually noble, but noble in the aristocratic sense. She's actually fleeing. She's not just oh, I don't want to marry him. She's running through the woods at night. She gets injured and is essentially just dying in some bushes. Essentially just, gonna be a wolf meal somewhere out in the forest. But then she gets found by Cole. Now, this is interesting because Cole is a rebel. He is one of the peasants, and he is very much against, like, the guy who owns the land, which is the cruel wannabe husband, and he is gonna like revolt with some other peasants, and it's very just Robin Hood because the man is cruel to like the peasants, and he just Cole is trying to take care of his like elderly mom or grandma and his little sister. I think it's a grandma. He's just trying to provide for people and make sure that people are getting treated fairly, and I love him. And he finds this dying girl in the woods, and he takes her in, and as he sort of nurses her back to health, they kind of fall in love, but they like sleep in this tiny cabin, and he always sees her because they don't have walls inside. And it's just very romantic. You gotta believe me. It's very romantic, and he's lovely, and he takes care of her. And then there's obviously conflict around him finding out that she's like part of the group of people that are the reason that his family is like, essentially almost starving. And, he has to sort of put to the side like his judgment of her like social standing. And he's just so protective. He's so like caring, and he takes care of her so wonderfully, even though he doesn't even know her. She's completely unconscious, and he doesn't have anything, so it's not like they've got like stuff to spare there. And at the end he like defends her and in like a knight kind of way, and it's just, he's a lovely man. I love him. There you go, read the book. Okay, next book. I'm holding it the wrong way. This book has some ripped out pages for reasons that I explained in a video where I talked about this series longer. However, I love this book. It is a great recommendation. The ending. Watch this video if you would like to know more. But I love this book. I love our guy. So this book is about Isla, who lives in modern day London, and she has to get a costume for this like work party, and she's in McQuibby's, and she goes to McQuibby's costume shop, and there she dresses up in a costume, and she gets thrown back in time, and she gets found by our guy. His name is Simon, and Simon is a catch. Simon like takes her in, he takes care of her, he's all like worried about her, and he's immediately ready to like defend her honor, and he is just so open to her absolutely crazy story, and he's just wonderful. I love him. He loves to listen to her. He's so sweet, and he's like riding outside of her carriage to make sure that no one like attacks her, and yeah, I love the guy. That's kind of it. Anyways. Alright, here we are. Oh no, this is gonna be harder to show off than a dress. Here it is. It's, if you didn't see before, it's a little knight in a little flower field, and I think it's quite, who's more chivalrous than a knight? And also, it's a little bit still adventure-y. I like that sort of as an overall theme. Yeah, no, I'm really pleased with it. I think it also suits our other guy here. How am I gonna do this in a way that is sensible? Here. Imagine my face wasn't there. Oh no. I'm not gonna put them together now anyway, so just, it's already pretty big is what I'm trying to tell you, and I think it matches. I'm not gonna put them together now because I'm thinking that I want to see first like which fits next to which, sort of like, what makes sense next to each other, even though, why does it sound like someone's getting murdered out there? Anyways, yeah, no, I want to see like what makes sense next to what motif wise, like how it like balances it out nicely. So I'm gonna wait to put them all together, even though I am tempted to put them together now just so it looks bigger. But I think it's also much easier to store this way, so not gonna do that. Anyways, I'm really pleased with it. I love how yellow it is. It's so like warm and cozy and a little adventure-y, and I don't know. I just love yellow. Alright, friend, I had such a lovely time with you, and I'm hoping you can join our little book club again next week. I'd be so happy to have you here. And we're gonna have such a fun book. If you love The Mummy or like 1980s bodice rippers, you are gonna be in the right place. Yeah, no, I am so excited for next week, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely time until then, friend. And yeah, have a lovely week. Oh no, I fell.